Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming, homage to Master Sakya Zheng Kong, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Dubdan Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice today, Medicine Tathagata of the Eastern Lapis Lazuli realm. Shimu, Tanchen Katsu, Dubdan Siddhi, Dubdan Kama, all Dhamma masters, Dhamma educators, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma instructors, Dhamma teaching assistants, temple and center directors, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening, how do you do?
I stayed Sharanghe Olamiko Kekero mucho Skoin Ichiba Kimochi Chumi Yapi Pudding pudding Konbanwa.
To the foundation this afternoon, Reverend Si Lian Zhen sent a fax to True Buddha Foundation after returning to Taiwan that she won a lottery prize. I cannot say who Zhen, there are many with that name, but which one I cannot tell. But get rich, get rich. Today is Medicine Tathagata's group practice. And Medicine Buddha is also very responsive. I have met Medicine Buddha. Most of you would know I saw Medicine Buddha in Gyeongju, Korea. As I was paying homage to Medicine Tathagata, surrounded that deity was surrounded by his retinue. That statue is really huge and tall. After paying homage, we circumambulated the 8 great bodhisattvas surrounding him and all the medicine generals, 12 of them. We visited them all, and on the way back he appeared for me to see, At first, it was the medicine Tathagata, and then the sunlight, moonlight, medicine king, medicine lord, the 8 great bodhisattvas. And then I saw the 12 medicine generals, they all appeared. After that sighting, it felt very real, and I generated reverence or respect toward the medicine Buddha. Many things in the human life, after you have the real seeing, having some spiritual responses or spiritual experiences or spiritual union, you would naturally generate respect and reverence. Actually, each one of the bodhisattvas are alive. Each of the Tathagatas are also alive. Moreover, all the gods are also alive. Look at Drashilamo, Jatsilamo. She's also alive. She can also appear, manifest. So in the human world, it's actually no big deal. Even life and death are not nothing, because with birth there must be death. When there is prosperity, there would be decline. So there would be a moment or a time for power and strength, and there would be a time for decline and weakness. So in our spiritual cultivation, we must have that commitment and perseverance, not only the initial wish or motive, but we have to stay long-term perseverance. If you do have that, then you can go to the highest place. Every sentient beings would have Buddha nature, as long as they cultivate spiritually. Then you will definitely receive good experiences, good responses, and good attainments, even the highest kind of attainments. The wealthiest ones are all the Tathagatas. They are all really rich. Suddenly, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are. Like the 8 divisions of gods and dragon beings. In water, the richest one is the dragon king, or are the dragon kings, and the richest ones in heavens are the 4 heavenly kings. On earth, they are the mountain gods. Earth gods are very rich. But true attainment of siddhas, mahasiddhas, are the wealthiest, the true wealth. This is the Q&A. A question from Malaysia, Lotus Jawi. As I have grown older, people around me have gradually passed away. One day I visited a relative in the hospital and noticed that most people suffer greatly before death, like being submerged in water and slowly losing breath. Some die painfully due to accidents. Only a very few pass away as if falling asleep. 2 years ago, a former colleague of mine developed an ALS condition, I think. And left him paralyzed. Before the illness, he was very handsome, outgoing, and talented. But during that 2 years before he died, his body could not move at all. Even his toileting had to be handled by family. Grandmaster, I'm very afraid that I will suffer terribly before I die. May I pray to Grandmaster so I can die a good death? It turns out that besides wealth, sensual pleasures, fame and status, dying well is also a kind of blessing. That is very correct. Other than wealth, sensual pleasures, fame and status, dying well is also a kind of blessing. Dying well is dying without illness. Or you die in your sleep. Or you die in 1 or 2 days. That's already good enough. Nowadays it's not easy to die well. Really, because spiritual cultivation, we want that we don't suffer too much before death. Sometimes the torment of illness is really upsetting to see. If in spiritual cultivation, the best kind, if you're seated on the Dharma throne, say in your Dharma practice, all of a sudden there is a body of qi, vital, subtle energy, because inside the human body there are several different kinds of qi. One kind cannot be moved, cannot move. That's called the life qi or the heart qi. Because the 5 kinds are the upper qi, lower qi, peripheral qi, fire accompanying qi, and the heart or the life qi, which should not move. The upper qi, lower qi, peripheral qi, fire accompanying qi is the qi that follows the inner fire. And the heart or life qi can be said that that's your own soul or Buddha nature that cannot move. But when you move your Buddha nature, then when the upper qi is exited, the lower qi moved up, and then you push your life qi up and to exit through your apex opening. And you sit it there unmoved, and you left and never return. That's called death. That would be the best. Or if you can't die sitting, you can die lying down. Whatever posture you have, as long as when the heart or life qi moves, and then you use your lower qi to push it up toward your poa or apex opening at the top of your crown to leave and never return. That is a blessing. If you leave through the apex opening, you either go to the heavens or you have attainment in the four sagely realms. So when we perform the bardo deliverance for the bardo state, is that you open the gate to heavens, close the gates to the human realm, and blocking the gates to the ghostly realm. So opening the gate to heaven is to open the apex opening. Closing the doors to the three lower realms, the hells, hungry ghosts, and animal realms. And to block the opening to the human realm. We don't want them to reincarnate as another human. And also blocking the path to the ghostly realms. So opening the gate to heavens and blocking all the other doors to the humans, the three lower realms, and the ghostly realm. That's taught by my guru. So you use the power of the guru to open the gate to the heavens and then to block or close off all the other doors. So the spirit or the soul can only leave through the apex opening, and then you would either go to heavens or the four sagely realm. That would be the best kind of death. But sometimes a human has lots of karma. You must eradicate your karma first before you can be reborn in the Pure Land. So that's why when karma appears, then you don't have the ability to open the gate to heavens and then closing off all the other doors. You have to be sick first. You have to suffer the sufferings of before death. And you will die only after your karma is cleared. Of course, that would be the worst kind. And after you die, you don't even know where you would go, which realm. That would be most troublesome. So, spiritual cultivators the blessed, the most blessed one, would leave through the apex opening or the gate to heaven. And the Poa practice is to practice this. You need to have fruition in that practice in order for you to leave from that opening. And then you close off all the other openings, like through the eyes, the nostrils, the mouth, the ears, the navel, and the anus, the lower openings. Back to the 3 lower realms. The only opening would be at the tip of the crown. So Poa Dharma practice exists in Tantrayana, is to practice this. Does Grandmaster have it? Yes. There's a hole here at the center. Recently, I touch it. It seems to be close. It should still be there, right? Is it? It's right here. A round one. That's Poa. So the best kind is you move your own lower part, chi of the lower part, following the central channel to move the heart or life chi to exit, to leave through the apex opening. If you can leave on your own, then you have attainment to reach the 4th sixthly realm. If you cannot go by yourself and you have your yidam calms and guides you, then you would go to the place of the yidam. Like when Amitabha Buddha calms and guides me, I would go to Sukhavati. Here you leave from the apex opening and they appear, and then they give you a lotus to carry you to the Pure Land. So that's the moment you practice the yidam yoga, yidam practice, so that you can go to the place of the Pure Land of the yidam. And normally when we practice the channels and the chi, and if you don't want to die soon, you should not let your heart or life chi move. And the foot of your yidam would step on your crown opening so that you don't leave. So you let your yidam abiding on top of your head. So only when you want to die that you move the yidam so that you can leave through the apex opening. So no suffering before death is truly a blessing. And dying well is also a kind of blessing. Other than wealth, sensual pleasures, fame and status, dying well is also a kind of blessing. That is true. So by practicing the yidam practice normally is so that the yidam can come and guide you, guide your Bardo spirit. That's actually soul. That's what normally called soul. But in Tantric Buddhism, we say Bardo spirit. And they have 49 days to stay in the Bardo state, which is the intermediate state between the incarnations. If you can practice and attain light, you can transform to become light, then you can live on your own. If you cannot, then you have to rely on your yidam during the Bardo state to guide you to go to the Pure Land. and the rest is useless. So I often say this, and you all know. You can't even bring with you a needle when you die. But of course, we all want to get rich. You want to live happier, right? You want to have a house, have cars. You want to have savings. And you have what you want to use. So when you're alive, you feel happy, and you're also happy when you die. So you see through life and death. When you're alive, you're rich. When you die, you're blessed. Powerful. So it's powerful, 福报. Of course, I also ask older mother, when will I leave? When will I die? And she told me a number. Okay. It's fine with me. I asked once. Oh, only a few years left. So I asked the second time. I asked the one at my home, the Golden Mother with innumerable hands and infinite Uji eyes, taller than I am. Huge. She's alive. The eyes can move. Extremely magnificent. So I asked her the first time. It's only a few years left. Is there a mistake? I asked again, and she said, yes, the same. But can I extend my lifespan again? She said, can be extended again. Can be extended again. To extend your lifespan, you have to practice the longevity Dharma practice, and you need to know to give wealth, give Dharma, give fearlessly. Fearlessness too. And you have to do all the methods to extend lifespan, and only that way you can extend your lifespan. You have to have that merits and blessings, otherwise you will die accordingly. Upon hearing that, I did not feel fearful or anything. It doesn't matter. It's okay. And living a few more years is just like this. Things in this human life, it's difficult to clarify. When it's time, I'm supposed to leave, and she wants me to leave, to return, I'll go back. So you do your best and pray for me. Right? Otherwise, look at how I am. In Taiwanese calendar, I'm 81. After the Chinese New Year, I'd be 82, right? Most people in 81 or 82 would be really aged and old. Some in wheelchairs or with the walking sticks, or some cannot even walk. People in their 80s would not be so easy like I am. I am already very good, very well. Some people in their 80s are weak in their limbs, but 5 would be strong. My strength is not like in youth, but there's still some strength. I asked Golden Mother many things, and she's quite... You all know, before the ceremony, I coughed very badly. Oh, it was quite scary when I started coughing. I coughed every time I had meals at the cafeteria. And I said, oh no, the ceremony is coming up. How can I cough in front of everybody? That would be... And giving Dhamma teaching and coughing at the same time. So that would be meaningless. You have to cure me. What should I take? I cannot tell. I cannot advertise it for them. They didn't give me any ad. And she told me, at night when you before bed, you should place it under your tongue or in your mouth before going to bed, and then sleep. Go to sleep. No, we should not advertise because it's not for everybody. It's okay for some. It's not panacea for everybody. Then everybody would be fine. Then you don't need doctors. So it's different for different people. So Golden Mother told me to place it under your tongue, don't swallow it, and then sleep with it. And after 3 nights later, the coughing disappeared. And one more thing, Golden Mother is really, really responsive, really. There was an area on my body, a part of my body, that is swollen like this big. Very heavy. So even it's obstructing when I walk. So I asked Golden Mother, what should we do here? So generally, like when I had the eczema, everybody gave me some ointments. So I would ask which one would be effective. I placed them all in front of her, and which one would be effective? And then she said, none of those. The ones, the creams right in front don't work. But let me tell you, there's one in which drawer that you've never used. You just take out that ointment, and I did. And I asked, is this the one? And she said, yes, the one that you never used before. And then you will be fine after 4 days. So I followed her direction, and sure enough, I was cured. So she told me which year you would die, you would pass away, and it would be truly accurate. For sure. So for me, it's okay. Because it's not that great to continue extending my lifespan. I don't want to live to be like some great monk, like Master Xing, like starting in his 80s, he started to go in and out the hospital. So the last 20 years, he lived very miserably, bound to the wheelchair, never go out, never went out. And also in Shin Master, who live on the other side of the wall. We were like townhomes that's connected. I am on this side and he's on the other side. That was in Taiwan. So he lived right next door, sharing a wall, so I could even hear his coughing. So in his last few years, he also suffered greatly because he was quite sickly since youth. Master-Ling Shen, he wrote many books, and his knowledge or studies were quite deep. And in China was Li Chen, who has written many books, and in Taiwan, in Shen Master. And I've read his book about the history and philosophy of Indian Buddhism. He lived to be 100 years old. But his body was sickly and weak since his youth. He didn't have any teeth at all, so he just took liquid. His diet consisted of bread and tomato juice. That's it. The primary diet, bread and tomato juice. That's it. But he lived to be 100. But I don't want to live like that. That's too much suffering. I took some disciples to visit him. When he got out, his body was wobbling around. I don't want to be like that. When a human gets old, the body will weaken. That's for sure. Now let's discuss the Surangama Sutra. This piece is about the nose. Ananda, you now smell the sandalwood in the censer. Is this how you pronounce it? If even one zhu measurement of this incense is burned, the whole city of Sravasti within 40 li smells it at the same time. What do you think? Does this fragrance arise from the sandalwood itself, from your nose, or from space? Ananda, if this fragrance arises from your nose and is said to be produced by the nose, then it ought to issue from the nose. But the nose is not sandalwood. How could sandalwood odor be in the nose? When you say you smell a scent, it should enter the nose. If instead it comes out of the nose, calling that smelling makes no sense. If it arises from space, since the nature of space is constant, the scent should be ever present. Then why burn dry wood in a censer? If it arises from the wood, the fragrant substance becomes smoke when burned. If the nose truly perceives it, it should be bathed in that smoke. Yet before the smoke has arisen far into the air, how is it that those within 40 li already smell it? Therefore, know that fragrance, the nose, and the act of smelling has no fixed basis. Smelling and scent are both false and illusory. They are neither dependent rising nor self-rising. Okay, so in summary, Sakyamuni Buddha used the burning incense as an analogy. The incense, of course, has no self-nature. It cannot control itself. It has no ability to control itself, the incense. When the sandalwood is burned, everybody can smell the odor. And he even said, within 40 li in the city. That's a little bit exaggerating. Like we're burning incense here and everybody in the Redmond city can smell it. But maybe the surrounding neighborhood can, but not the whole Redmond city. So Sakyamuni Buddha's analogy is quite exaggerated, that the whole city could smell it. So he's indicating that it has no self-nature. It's not especially for just so-and-so to smell it, and it does not arise from the sandalwood, from the nose, or from the space. The empty space has no sandalwood fragrance, or not the nose either. You burn the sandalwood, but sandalwood has no self-nature. The nose has no self-nature, and the space, the empty space, is the empty space. That's his meaning. So your sense of smell and the incense or sandalwood have no self-nature. If your sense of smell has self-nature, then only you can smell it and not everybody else. So Sakyamuni Buddha used this as an analogy. So when we lit incense, everyone in the temple can smell it. But the incense cannot take charge of itself, and the nose cannot take charge of itself either. So have no self-nature. That's the primary meaning of this piece. Nose and smell, both are illusory and false, and neither arising from dependent arising nor self-arising. So, just in summary, my own analogy, I was in Hualien. I was in the city. I was working during my vacation in high school at the electric meter quality control area, and I have talked about it, that my uncle was a director there. And I was working by myself, testing all the meters. So he asked a woman which I wrote in my book. And her name is Chen Ching, that's his secretary, carrying a watermelon for me, knocking on the door, a beautiful lady with a watermelon on her hands, a huge one. And she said, your uncle asked me to bring this watermelon for you. And I said, so big, how could I finish it? Let's eat together. So we ate the watermelon together, and after that, do you have time on Sunday? And the lady, Chen Ching, said, sure, I have nothing else to do. Let's go out and play together. So we had a date. We went to Zhongshan Road in Hualien. She rode bicycle, only one. And by myself, I had no bicycle. I had no bicycle, so how should we go? And then that lady told me, why don't you carry me? You ride in the front and I would sit at the back. So she got up and I was riding the bicycle. And the front wheel is light and the back wheel is heavy. So the wheel is twisting back and forth. Heavy at the back and light in the front, so I could not ride it. And then where should you sit? There's a bar in the front. So she sat there and holding the bar. So I sat here and she's in front of me. Then now it's okay. And because of that, I smelled the fragrance of her hair. And then, with the two legs cycling, it would touch the blue skirt. I'd rather ride my bike forever. It's such a hard-to-come opportunity, hard to come by, because she agreed to go for an outing with me, going north from Zhongshan Road to a place where there's a river and huge rocks. So we sat on the rocks. That's a memory from the past. So I have smelled that fragrance that Sakyamuni Buddha was talking about. But other people could not smell it, right? Because you have to be very close. The fragrance is very captivating, alluring. At that time, I really wish that we never arrived at our destination. I was a high school student, so that was smelling some fragrance. But after we're going apart, and it's not there anymore. Had she sat behind me, I wouldn't be able to smell it either. But she sat in front and holding the bar. But I couldn't ride the bike when she sat behind me. I didn't pretend, that was really true. So she could only sit in front. Do you know where I went? Hoa Cang San Mountain, Mei Luan, Hoa Lien Gang, the port in Hoa Lien, Hoa Cang Zong Xie at night, and also Taruko, Tian Xiang, Jiu Qi Dong. See, every weekend we had something, and after returning home, we had letters back and forth, and then the last letter she wrote, "You have to come to Hualien right away. I want to marry you. If you don't come to Hualien, my father strictly commanding me to marry a doctor from Taipei." When I saw the letter, her last letter, because we had correspondence every 2-3 days, so I placed all those letters in a box. I was still in high school then, so I showed that letter to my dad, and I told him I want to go to Hualien and marry her, bring her back and marry her. And my dad did not say anything. So she took he took the letter and all the letters, her letters and the many photos. She burned all of them. He burned all of them. The dad burned all of them. And he made a phone call to my uncle in Hualien, the business director. "You did not guide my son well. During his school years, you let him date this girl. And then he broke up the relationship with the uncle, my dad. And then he told me, I was sleeping in a closet then. I did not have a bed. So, and you want to marry her, how would you take care of her?" So in that high school, in that tech high school, I was first in class at that time already. I stayed in class in junior school, but so you use your test scores to marry her? You have nothing. Do you have a house, money, anything? And my dad said, "I have 6 children already, and you want to add 1 more for me to take care of?" I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go to Hualien. So I cried several times, but I really had no other ways, because her father forced her to marry a doctor from Taipei. When we were together, she said a statement. Zhen Zhen told me, in the future, when we meet again, I will wear white wedding gown right next to you. She meant that she wanted to marry me. When we meet again, I will wear the white wedding gown next standing next to you. And then 60 years have passed. And Simu back then had the third eye, and one day Simu told me, right next to you, there is someone wearing white wedding gown. A lady, that's 60 years later. That's how it was. She's Ching Tze. That's destiny, faith. Simu saw her first. Next to you, there's a woman wearing white wedding gown. That's 60 years later. In the South Mountain Retreat, my home in Seattle, Simu saw 60 years later. That's the past. So that's the story that happened in Hualien. We went out together. There is a woman called Ango in the back service, and she always prepared some bento boxes for us, 2 of them. So, no, 1. So 2 people eat 1 box. And next I went to the military college. There were 2, but I just wrote 1. That's my latest book, 308, Eternal Star. Of course, the kind of fragrance which Sakyamuni Buddha talked about. The fragrance has no self-nature. It's been so long since I smell any fragrance. Even if you want to smell it, you cannot. Sakyamuni Buddha talked about sandalwood incense. Once you lit it, everybody in the whole temple can smell it. Not just for 1 person or 2 people, but for everybody. That's why the incense has no self-nature. And the fragrance does not come from the cosmic space or from the sky. And your nose does not generate any smell or odor or fragrance. So the empty space or the incense, if you don't lit it, if you don't burn it, there is no fragrance. So the incense has no self-nature, the nose has no self-nature, and the empty space also has no self-nature. That's why they are neither produced by dependent rising nor self-rising. That's what Sakyamuni Buddha said. Now, I go home and ask Golden Mother, and Golden Mother said, I asked Golden Mother, Tajilamu said that she wanted to be married to Grandmaster Lu. And so, what is your opinion, Golden Mother? And Golden Mother said, marry her. Marry her. And I said, okay, I wouldn't live for that long. And she said, there's a benefit for her to be married to you. The reason, she told me, you must marry me, Jajilamu said. And I said, why? And Jajilamu said, back then, during the Zhou Mu Wang, the King Mu of the Zhou dynasty, one of the consort is right next to you now. And one more, Han Jingzong from the Han dynasty, the Emperor Jingzong. So his consort are also next to you. And I'm the consort of Emperor Qianlong, so I can be by your side too. That's her reason. Oh, is that really? Is that really the case? What? It's been announced? Don't let someone know. It's okay. All are equal. So Tajilamu is also intangible. There are 4 intangible ones and one more to become 5. It's okay. It's not a big deal. So now 5 intangible ones. So that's what human life is all about. Once we come to the Saha world, there are only 2 things. One is wealth, get rich. And the other one is sensual pleasures. I cannot say that. We now say spiritual cultivators should be content and have less desire. That would be fine. Now let me share a joke. I went to get my teeth pulled with a friend, and afterward my friend asked me, is it painful? And Xiaoming said, when they inject the anesthesia, it was painful, but pulling the teeth wasn't painful. But then I heard the dentist said that no need for anesthesia, just pull the teeth. Xiaoming said, my dad drives Rolls Royce, and my mom Maserati, and my wife drives Ferrari, and Xiaoming drives a joke.
天哪，这个笑话真的是讲我吗？
Is this joke talking about me?
我是开劳斯莱斯。
Because I drive the Rolls Royce.
今天换了这个
And today I changed to drive Bentley. And normally I drive Maserati.
法拉利
And now I also have Ferrari.
可不是开玩笑的。
But I'm not joking.
这4部车都是韩尼瓦送的。
All these 4 cars were given by Hanifa, by someone.
我自己舍不得买。
I
舍不得买。
I cannot.
送的我就舍。
I cannot. I cannot bear to buy it myself. But if it's given to me, then it's.
哎，爸爸对小明讲，小明啊，
It's okay. Dad told Xiaoming, if you marry a good wife, then you're successful, halfway to success. And Xiaoming said, then I want to marry too. Someone asked me, have you ever been chased? And that heavy lady said, are you joking? That often happens. Just yesterday, that dog chased me for 3 blocks. Actually, everything about Grandmaster is fine. It's just that a little bit short. But there's a benefit to be short. What benefits are those? When someone talks to him, they have to lower their head. And you don't need to lower your head to other people. And then when the heavens fall down, the taller ones would hold it up. And the concentrated ones always the best and smart and live a long life. And the center is rather stable. And when you run, you can be fast and stable. And you save on resources. So even when you wear this lama robe, you save on the fabric. So you save on time, space, and you would look younger when you're short. Those are the benefits of being short. What benefits are there to be tall? Someone make a phone call. Hello, I am a stock analyst. So what stocks do you have? And Xiaoming said, buttocks. I mean, it's like stocks in Chinese. At first I wanted to be the garbage that's not fighting against anything, but it turned out that even to be garbage, you have to be a class of group. So living on earth, we have to get rich, get rich, get rich. And then we cultivate spiritually, and let's meet in the heavens. Om Mani Padme Hum.